India's road safety was in crisis and it affected
Maybe the 3 who were gone were alive today because they could have been recovered from where they fell.
As India observed Road Safety Week, the campaign gained momentum. Influential voices, school children and concerned citizens all joined in,
I
taking
feel it's important for you to be associated with this campaign. What is the essential reason why you chose to be on board?
Well, I think this has been a growing concern, as we say, and being a young mother, you know, our children walk on the roads, they go to bus stops, you know, to catch the school bus. And I think even as a mom, you always have that fear, you know, that, you know, your child and maybe a mother or a father or a caretaker might be dropping them. But what if somebody is, you know, driving or they're coming back from school and being irresponsible? So I think it's very important that, of course, that don't drink and drive, but also, like you say, you have to drive safely and responsibly even during the day.
Yeah. Abanti, you've got teenage sons. They're what, 18 years old. In driving this entire campaign in association with NDTV, your thoughts would at one level have been also on your young sons. As a mother, what does this campaign mean to you?
I think as a mother, this campaign means I can go home a little bit more reassured that there is a message out there very frequently during the season when my kids are listening to it, and hopefully, you know, there is an awareness that's being created about them of what not to do. I mean, they are below legal drinking age today, but still there is temptation always when they are together with friends, etc. So it just helps me really go and feel like there is somebody out there watching out for them through this program.
Yeah. Karishma, I must ask you, you know, all of us like to go out, meet friends, party. And then, you know, I mean, to say party responsibly or drink responsibly at one level is cliched, but it is at another level a fundamental truth. Where do you draw the line?
Well, you know, I must say that, frankly, I always have a designated driver. I don't drive myself because I think I have too many things on my mind. So it's better that I sit behind in the back seat. But I'd like to tell you that there are a lot of young people out there today who have realized this. And I think this campaign has made them realize today when young couples go out to party or to a club to have a few drinks. Like a lot of my friends tell me, you know, we are the driver tonight. My friends like, I'm not drinking tonight. You know, let the husbands and the other friends, because I have so many people to drop home. So people have become really, really aware about this. And also I'd like to really say that especially in Mumbai, I think the traffic police is doing a great job because over the weekends, a lot of people are genuinely aware and a bit scared that, you know, they cannot afford to drink and drive because they are going to be pulled up. And there are a lot of check nakas nowadays.
Yeah.
And I think people, the growing concern is out there and people have become really aware.
Dr. We just don't do it here for some reason. Would you like to spread a
Well,
message?
I think
on
it is starting. There are a lot of apps now, like Party Smart and things like that, which a lot of young couples and young people do use. So I think it is available now, and I'm sure it'll even grow further. So people should be aware that it is available. So it shouldn't be an excuse that, "Arey, mera driver nahi tha, koi tha nahi to." And I think a lot of young people feel, I'll just have a drink or two and I can handle it. Well, that is not the case. If you are even having one drink, you cannot drive a vehicle, period.
What about, but again, what about the moderate consumption of alcohol? I mean, for those who drink, it's obviously a very personal choice. Yeah. But then how do you assume that you can drink responsibly?
No, that's
and assuming,
exactly,
of course, that you're not driving, so that's out of the question. But then just being responsible as a drinker, I mean, how do you actually figure out where to stop?
Well, I think it's from person to person. Like basically, I mean, I don't like alcohol, but there are some people who enjoy a drink like every night. So I think for health reasons also nowadays you hear, you know, people will say, you know, I've had one drink or two drinks. But then there are people who think, you know, they can have 10 drinks and be totally fine, which is unrealistic.
See,
so there is no really a demarcation.
See, the stigmatization should not be of alcohol. It should be of irresponsible behavior.
It's the responsibility.
Shaina?
I think the responsibility quotient in public at large. Are we
Should be there.
responsible? Are we going to take onus? If you go out and drink, are you going to take care of yourselves? And another good thing is, gone are the days when you think you can just bribe the cop, because now it's impossible for you to be even doing that.
And you would
The
have
kind of
changed.
I was waiting for that. I was waiting for that comment, Sohail. But I think more importantly, the fines have been raised, I mean, almost tenfold.
Yeah.
So somebody who's going to be irresponsible also realizes that there's a huge price to pay. So I think as a society, if we talk about responsibility rather than getting into sermonizing that you must not drink or you must drink, but about the importance of not drinking and driving. And that's why I'd like to compliment NDTV, because you all are one of the few channels that have a collective conscience to talk about these issues rather than who said what and who did what.
Yeah.
See, many years ago in New York, there's a campaign which was run by young people, which basically talked about peer respect, peer approval, and peer disapproval. So it wasn't about whether you were drinking too much or drinking less. It was what you were doing after the drinking. You know, if you were irresponsible to drive, if you were irresponsible to, if you were misbehaving and that kind of stuff. Social shaming is a very important tool, but you've got to figure the contours of social shaming. Here what happens is a lot of machismo is associated with a guy who drinks and drives, thinking, doesn't matter. Haryana is the Wild West. So, if you actually look at those areas, and if you don't have social shaming blended with demonstrable punishment, which is very penal in purview, you won't be able to solve this problem.
And Shaji, where is, in fact, you can take that, sir. Where do you believe we need to go as far as better punishments or punishments which actually make a point, not just a 100 rupee fine?
So just like Mr. Seth said, just few days ago, our own electrician who was driving a scooter was caught by a police constable, and he went and told him, and he phones me that he had only one bottle of beer, and why the constable should catch me. He was talking to me in Marathi. So the constable said, Sahib, tani kai khela maide? What he has done, he has taken a beer, and he says only one, and I know he has taken 3. I said, I don't know him. So I also told him, I don't know him. So he was ashamed. So he was very annoyed and doesn't come to my house anymore. Because I said, I don't recognize you because you are drunk.
You had a point, Doctor?
Suspending the driving license for at least 3 months is the first act that needs to be done. Because nowadays the metros at least are running to a situation that if my license is suspended, I'm going to have it for 3 months. And that would deter me from driving. And moreover, I think so it's the culture. I should be ashamed of taking away life by my reckless act, something which he has done, something which he has given. I have no moral authority, no any authority to take the life away by doing an accident.
Okay, well, we are almost completely out of time, but Abanti, one last question to you. Going forward, what are some of your ideas? Because we've done this for 3 years, we've really tried hard to spread this message, but going forward, what else do you think we can work towards in shaping public opinion, in going on the right road, as it were?
So I think 3 things really. The first is that we kind of continue to create awareness around new laws and new legislation which have come in. So last year we did the Good Samaritan. This year, hopefully, if the Motor Vehicles Act comes through with the Parliament, then really creating that awareness. I think that's important. The second is, how do we, make sure that the on-ground momentum is spread to more cities, more people. So, in marketing language, we say broaden the reach of what we are doing. And third is really, how do we bring in more engagement and not just, one-way kind of sermonization. And that's why we thought for this season, we are actually going to move from a negative message like don't drink and drive, which feels like a stick, to a rallying cry for a positive action, which is get a designated driver, so that people know, okay, I don't do that, but then what do I do? And so we make that the mantra, so there is a behavior shift that people can connect to and get engaged with.
All right, well, I'd like to thank all of our panelists today for joining us on this. We do have time for questions, which we will take. But it's something that we really feel is a cause that in NDTV certainly we attach ourselves very closely to, and it's been a great privilege working with United Spirits on this. This campaign, this partnership is very strong, and we hope it does continue. We've got young students over here, young professionals over here. We've also got Dr. Sulema Merchant, the Dean of Sion Hospital, with us. Dr. Merchant, there you are, sir. You were supposed to be here with us, and I'm so glad you were able to make it. In fact, I would ask you the same question which I've asked Dr. Oak earlier on. The emergency room of a hospital, the first hour. What is the scene that you typically see day after day, year after year, of how families are often destroyed because of irresponsible choices being made?
I think that's a very good question. And I think before starting, it's nice to have a
moot point of who are we designing roads for, right? We design roads for motor vehicles, for cars and other vehicles, but we don't design it for pedestrians. And sadly, 50% of the people who are actually dying in road accidents in India are called vulnerable road users, who are not protected by a shell. So they are cyclists, they are pedestrians, they are children. So every day, 20 children die in road accidents in India.
Yeah.
Kids, you know how kids are taken to school and got back from school. I think we have to move towards, and there are a lot of cities in the world, third world countries, like Bogota, for example. They're moving towards pedestrian-friendly roads. So the right of way should be of the pedestrian, not of the car vehicle.
Any other questions? And if you could just be, yes, sir, over there. If you can ask a question, sir, and point out who you want to.
Hello.
Yeah.
Good afternoon to all. This is Raj from SpicyStrasmobile.com. I'd like to ask Karishma Kapoor that do you think a celebrity can change some society, can bring a change in society?
Well, I think a celebrity can always bring out the awareness. And I think like Virat is also part of this campaign. I was there in 2014 in Bangalore. So I think we can, influence the people, the youth, everyone out there. So I think it can make a change. And we do try in our own way to do that.